The 1971 Liberty half-dollar coin carries an aura that instantly captures attention, especially for collectors who dream of discovering a hidden treasure in ordinary change. At first glance, it may look like just another vintage coin, but beneath its aged surface lies a story of transition, rarity, and unexpected value. This coin represents a moment in American coinage history when design, metal composition, and collector demand all collided, creating the possibility that a simple 50-cent piece could one day command astonishing prices. When people hear 1971 Liberty half-dollar, they often imagine a coin that quietly circulated for decades, unnoticed and underappreciated. Yet some of these coins were struck with unusual precision, rare minting quirks, and exceptional condition that make them dramatically more valuable than their face value. These rare examples stand apart from ordinary circulation coins and have the potential to command staggering sums when discovered by the right collector at the right time. The fascination grows stronger when the coin comes from the Philadelphia Mint, often identified without a mint mark. These early strikes sometimes show sharp details, mirror-like fields, and bold lettering that collectors chase passionately. A pristine example with flawless surfaces can transform what appears to be pocket change into a prize collectible capable of drawing intense bidding interest in the marketplace. Condition plays a powerful role in determining whether a 1971 Liberty half-dollar becomes ordinary or extraordinary. Coins preserved in uncirculated state, untouched by wear, hold the greatest potential. When the original luster still glows and the design remains crisp, collectors recognize the coin as a survivor of time, and its desirability rises dramatically. In rare cases, such coins can reach astonishing valuations that surprise even seasoned numismatists. Another factor that fuels excitement is the possibility of mint errors. Some 1971 half-dollars were struck with double lettering, off-center designs, or unusual surface textures. These minting anomalies transform an already collectible coin into a one-of-a-kind piece. Error coins ignite bidding wars because they cannot be easily duplicated, and collectors value their uniqueness above all else. The design itself adds emotional weight. The Liberty imagery, paired with a strong American symbolism, creates a timeless aesthetic that collectors admire. The bold profile, balanced composition, and classic feel make the coin visually appealing, increasing demand among enthusiasts who value both history and beauty. This combination of artistry and rarity pushes certain examples into the realm of high-value collectibles. Collectors often search rolls of old coins hoping to uncover one exceptional specimen. The thrill of discovery is part of the magic surrounding the 1971 Liberty half-dollar. A coin that sat quietly in a drawer for decades could suddenly reveal blazing luster, perfect edges, and stunning preservation. Moments like this feed the dream that a life-changing find might still be waiting in everyday collections. Some of the most valuable examples are those preserved in proof-like condition. These coins display reflective surfaces and frosted details that create a striking contrast. When such features appear on a circulation strike, collectors take notice immediately. The rarity of this appearance drives demand, and prices can climb rapidly when one surfaces at auction. The metal composition also contributes to its appeal. While many assume all 1971 half-dollars are common, certain variations and specially preserved coins create scarcity. Over time, fewer high-grade pieces remain available, and collectors compete fiercely to secure the best examples. This shrinking supply intensifies value and increases the excitement surrounding top-quality specimens. Auction moments involving rare 1971 Liberty half-dollars often spark intense interest. When collectors recognize a coin with extraordinary quality, bidding can escalate quickly. The combination of rarity, condition, and collector enthusiasm can push prices far beyond expectations, reinforcing the idea that an overlooked coin might hold surprising worth. Stories circulate of collectors discovering a brilliant 1971 half-dollar tucked away in old albums. After careful grading, the coin is revealed to be nearly flawless, making it highly desirable. Such discoveries fuel the belief that hidden treasures still exist, waiting to be recognized by someone with a keen eye and patience. Grading services further amplify value by certifying authenticity and condition. A 1971 Liberty half-dollar graded at the highest levels becomes an elite collectible. These top-tier coins stand among the finest known examples, and collectors are often willing to pay extraordinary sums to secure them for their collections. The passage of time adds the mystique. More than 5 decades have passed since these coins were minted, and pristine survivors grow scarcer each year. As availability declines, demand among collectors strengthens. This natural imbalance between supply and interest pushes certain pieces toward remarkable valuations. Visual appeal also plays a major role. Coins with radiant shine, clean surfaces, and strong strikes command the most attention. When all these elements align, the coin becomes a standout specimen that collectors consider a centerpiece. Such coins can reach impressive prices simply because of their exceptional eye appeal. Historical significance contributes another layer of value. The 1971 issue marked an important period in coinage evolution, and collectors appreciate pieces that represent this transitional era. Owning one in exceptional condition feels like preserving a moment frozen in time, which increases desirability. The excitement surrounding these coins often leads people to re-examine old collections. Families rediscover coin jars, albums, and inherited sets, hoping to uncover a rare 1971 half-dollar. The possibility that a forgotten coin could hold surprising value keeps interest alive and encourages continued searching. While not every 1971 Liberty half-dollar is worth a fortune, the rare and flawless examples can reach impressive levels. The difference between common and extraordinary often lies in subtle details that only careful inspection reveals. This mystery adds to the coin's allure and keeps collectors fascinated. In the end, the 1971 Liberty half-dollar represents more than just currency. It symbolizes the thrill of discovery, the power of rarity, and the dream that something small can hold enormous potential. For collectors, finding a pristine example feels like unlocking hidden history, and that possibility is what makes this coin so captivating and endlessly talked about. The 1972 Liberty half-dollar is one of those coins that quietly hides in plain sight, yet collectors know it can carry an electrifying story. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary coin from pocket change, but the moment you understand its background, the entire perspective changes. This coin belongs to the era when the famous Kennedy half-dollar design still dominated circulation, and certain rare variations from 1972 began to capture the imagination of collectors. What seems ordinary can suddenly feel extraordinary, and that is exactly where the thrill begins. In 1972, millions of half-dollars were produced, but not all were created equal. A small number were struck with unusual characteristics, minting irregularities, and exceptional preservation. These tiny differences are what transform a common coin into something that collectors chase for years. When a coin survives decades with sharp details, brilliant luster, and minimal wear, it starts to separate itself from the rest. This is the moment when a simple 50-cent piece begins its journey toward becoming a prized collectible. The most fascinating part of the 1972 Liberty half-dollar is how rarity often hides in details that most people overlook. Slight doubling in the lettering, unusual mint marks, or proof-like surfaces can turn an everyday coin into a remarkable find. Some examples show mirror-like fields, strong strikes, and crisp edges that look almost untouched by time. When collectors see these features, excitement builds quickly because such coins rarely appear in circulation anymore. Condition plays a massive role in determining value. A heavily worn 1972 half-dollar may only hold modest collector interest, but a pristine specimen graded at the highest levels becomes a completely different story. Coins preserved in near-perfect condition reflect light beautifully, showing every line of the Liberty design. The sharpness of the hair, the clarity of the lettering, and the clean fields all combine to create a coin that looks almost freshly minted. Another factor that fuels interest is mint origin. Coins struck at different mints can display subtle differences, and certain mint combinations are far scarcer than others. When collectors discover a rare mint variation from 1972, the excitement intensifies. These coins may have been produced in smaller numbers, making them harder to find today. The scarcity adds a layer of mystery that collectors love. Sometimes, the real magic appears in mint errors. A 1972 Liberty half-dollar with a striking error, such as double die features, off-center strikes, or unusual planchet flaws, can capture enormous attention. These mistakes were never intended, yet they create one-of-a-kind collectibles. Each error coin tells a story of a brief moment in the minting process when something went differently, and that uniqueness drives desirability. Collectors also value coins with strong eye appeal. Even without dramatic errors, a 1972 half dollar with bright luster and clean surfaces can command significant interest. When a coin looks visually stunning, it stands out immediately. The shine, the symmetry, and the bold strike all work together to create something that feels special in hand. Over the years, fewer high-grade 1972 Liberty half dollars have survived. Many were spent, scratched, or stored improperly. That means the remaining top-condition coins become more desirable with time. As availability decreases, collectors compete more aggressively for the best examples. This competition naturally drives value upward. The thrill of finding one of these coins is part of what makes the story so compelling. People often search old collections, coin rolls, or inherited jars hoping to discover a hidden treasure. Occasionally, someone uncovers a well-preserved 1972 half dollar that looks far better than expected. That moment can feel like uncovering history frozen in metal. Another fascinating aspect is the coin's historical atmosphere. The early 1970s represented a transitional period in U.S. coinage. Silver content had already changed in previous years, and collectors were paying closer attention to mint production. Coins from this era often carry nostalgia and historical significance, which adds to their appeal. Professional grading also plays an important role. When a 1972 Liberty half dollar is authenticated and graded by experts, it gains credibility and collector confidence. High-grade certifications can transform interest into serious demand. Buyers feel more secure knowing the coin has been carefully evaluated and preserved. Auction appearances sometimes ignite excitement around these coins. When a particularly beautiful 1972 example surfaces, collectors notice immediately. Competitive bidding can push prices higher, especially when the coin displays exceptional preservation. The combination of rarity, condition, and presentation can create dramatic outcomes. The idea of hidden value keeps collectors fascinated. A coin that once circulated casually might now be preserved in a protective holder, admired for its quality. This transformation from everyday currency to collectible treasure is part of the coin's charm. It reminds collectors that history often hides in ordinary places. Patience is another key element in this story. Collectors sometimes wait years to find the perfect 1972 Liberty half dollar. They examine many coins, searching for the one with the right details and outstanding quality. When that coin finally appears, it becomes a highlight of their collection. Storage and preservation also affect value over time. Coins kept in safe environments retain their luster and detail. A well-preserved 1972 half dollar looks dramatically better than one exposed to damage. This difference can significantly influence collector demand. The emotional connection to coins should not be underestimated. Holding a 1972 Liberty half dollar can feel like touching a small piece of history. The design, the weight, and the shine all contribute to its appeal. For collectors, this emotional factor often adds to the coin's desirability. Market demand continues to evolve as new collectors enter the hobby. Interest in vintage half dollars remains strong, especially for coins with unusual characteristics. As awareness grows, standout 1972 examples attract even more attention. This steady demand helps maintain their collectible status. In the end, the 1972 Liberty half dollar represents more than just a coin. It symbolizes the excitement of discovery, the beauty of preservation, and the thrill of rarity. Whether found in a collection or acquired through careful searching, a remarkable example can feel incredibly special. What once seemed like ordinary change can become a captivating collectible, carrying both history and the promise of unexpected value. The 1980 Liberty half dollar most collectors talk about is actually the 1980 issue of the half dollar honoring John F. Kennedy, struck by the United States Mint. Despite the dramatic claims you may hear online, this coin is not made of traditional silver for regular circulation. It is primarily a copper-nickel-clad coin, yet certain rare conditions, errors, and exceptional grades can still make a 1980 half dollar surprisingly valuable to the right collector. The excitement comes from rarity, condition, and unusual minting details rather than metal value alone. In 1980, Half dollars are produced mainly for collectors and not widely used in daily transactions. That limited circulation creates an interesting situation. Many coins were saved, but only a tiny fraction survived in flawless, untouched condition. When a 1980 Liberty half dollar appears with blazing luster, perfect surfaces, and no marks, collectors become very interested. These top-grade coins can command far higher prices than ordinary examples. The most talked about versions are the 1980 P, 1980 D, and the 1980 S proof. Each mint location produced coins with slightly different characteristics. The Philadelphia and Denver coins were made for circulation, while the San Francisco version was produced as a proof coin with mirror-like surfaces. Proof coins, when perfectly preserved, often bring the highest premiums among collectors. Condition is everything. A worn 1980 half dollar may only be worth face value, but a pristine specimen graded at the very top of the scale becomes a different story. Coins graded MS-66, MS-67, or higher are extremely scarce. These high-grade examples represent the absolute best survivors in the year, and collectors are willing to pay strong prices to secure them. Another factor that can transform a common coin into a valuable one is a mint error. Off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or dramatic strike anomalies can make a 1980 Liberty half dollar stand out instantly. These minting mistakes are accidental and limited, which is why collectors chase them. A dramatic error can multiply the value many times over. The 1980 S-proof half dollar holds special appeal because of its mirror-like finish. When the coin retains deep cameo contrast, frosty devices against jet black fields, collectors consider it premium quality. A perfect deep cameo proof preserved without haze, scratches, or spots can bring significantly more than average examples. Some collectors search for coins with unusually strong strikes. A sharply struck 1980 half dollar shows crisp hair detail, clean lettering, and strong rim definition. These details may seem small, but they separate ordinary coins from elite specimens. The sharper the strike, the higher the collector interest. There are also transitional planchet possibilities that excite advanced collectors. While extremely rare, if a 1980 half dollar were discovered struck on an incorrect metal planchet, it could become highly valuable. These types of anomalies are the ones that generate headlines in coin collecting circles. The shine of an uncirculated 1980 half dollar is another major factor. Coins stored carefully in original mint sets sometimes retain blazing luster. When that original mint brilliance is intact, the coin appears almost freshly struck. Collectors often pay premium prices for that untouched appearance. Population rarity plays a big role too. If only a few coins reach the highest certified grades, competition increases. When demand meets low supply, prices climb. That's why a seemingly ordinary 1980 Liberty half dollar can suddenly become desirable if it's one of the finest known examples. However, it's important to stay realistic. Most 1980 half dollars are not worth millions. The dramatic, overnight billionaire claims are exaggerated. Truly valuable coins depend on extreme rarity, exceptional grade, or unusual mint errors. Without those features, the coin remains modest in value. Still, the thrill comes from the possibility. Many collectors search rolls, mint sets, and old collections hoping to find that perfect specimen. The idea that a simple coin could hold hidden value keeps interest alive and fuels the hunt. The design itself adds to the coin's appeal. The portrait on the obverse carries historical significance, while the reverse with the eagle symbolizes strength and national identity. This combination makes the 1980 half dollar visually appealing even beyond its potential value. Collectors also value originality. A coin that has never been cleaned or altered is far more desirable. Cleaning can reduce value dramatically, even if the coin looks shiny. Natural surfaces are always preferred in the numismatic world. Storage matters as well. Coins preserved in protective holders avoid scratches, fingerprints, and environmental damage. A well-stored 1980 Liberty half dollar stands a better chance of achieving a higher grade and stronger collector demand. Some high-grade examples have sold for notable amounts compared to face value, especially when graded near perfect. These sales reinforce the idea that condition and rarity drive the market. A top-tier coin can stand far above average examples. The excitement surrounding the 1980 Liberty half dollar comes from this combination of history, condition rarity, and collector demand. Even though most are common, the rare standout pieces capture attention and spark imagination among collectors. So if you come across a 1980 Liberty half dollar, don't dismiss it immediately. Examine its condition, check for unusual errors, and consider professional grading if it looks exceptional. While it may not make you a billionaire overnight, the right coin in the right condition could still be a valuable and fascinating collectible. The story begins with a coin that looks ordinary at first glance, yet carries the quiet promise of extraordinary value. The 1788 dated commemorative quarter, released in 2000. This piece, struck during the celebrated 50 state quarters program by the United States Mint, blends early American history with modern minting precision. Collectors were drawn immediately to its bold liberty symbolism, the historic date, and the possibility that certain mint-marked versions might become exceptionally scarce. Over time, whispers of rare examples with unusual finishes, pristine preservation, or striking anomalies transformed this humble quarter into a legend of hidden fortune. The coin most often linked to this fascination is the New Hampshire State Quarter, which carries the year 1788 to honor the state's ratification of the Constitution. While millions are produced, only a tiny fraction emerge with near-perfect surfaces, sharp relief, and flawless luster. In the world of coin collecting, perfection is everything. A single microscopic flaw can separate an everyday coin from a treasure that commands breathtaking prices. And that is why certain high-grade examples of this quarter have ignited intense demand among collectors. Mint marks play a crucial role in elevating the value of this commemorative quarter. Coins struck at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco each tell a different story. A Philadelphia strike might appear common, but when preserved in immaculate condition with strong strike details, it suddenly becomes elusive. Denver pieces sometimes show different luster qualities, while San Francisco examples, especially those struck in special finishes, can carry a premium that feels almost unbelievable. The right combination of mint mark, grade, and rarity creates a perfect storm of value. Another factor that fuels excitement is the possibility of minting anomalies. A slightly off-center strike, a double design, or unusual surface texture can transform a standard coin into a unique collectible. These quirks happen rarely, and when they appear on a historically themed commemorative quarter, collectors rush to secure them. The market then begins to elevate prices rapidly, sometimes pushing values far beyond what most people expect from a simple 25-cent piece. Condition remains the most powerful driver of price. Coins graded at the highest levels, especially those with brilliant mirror-like surfaces and crisp edges, are extremely scarce. Many quarters entered circulation quickly, acquiring scratches and wear. Only a handful were saved in pristine condition from the moment they left the mint. These untouched survivors now stand as the elite tier of the series, often commanding extraordinary attention at auctions. The design itself adds emotional appeal. The Liberty-inspired symbolism paired with the historic 1788 date evokes the founding era of the United States. Collectors are not just buying metal. They are purchasing a story of early nationhood captured in a modern commemorative format. That narrative deepens the desirability, and desirability is what transforms ordinary coins into prized possessions. Over the years, rumors have circulated about examples discovered in pocket change that later turned out to be worth astonishing sums. Whether exaggerated or not, such stories encourage collectors to recheck their coins carefully. A quarter overlooked for years in a jar might suddenly reveal exceptional detail, unusual coloration, or an overlooked mint mark, sparking excitement that fuels the coin's mythic reputation. The silver-like appearance of certain proof issues also contributes to the coin's aura. While most were struck in standard clad composition, some special editions display a brilliant reflective finish that resembles polished silver. These versions, especially when preserved in protective holders, appear almost jewel-like, intensifying their desirability among enthusiasts. Collectors often emphasize that rarity is not only about how many were minted, but how many survived in top condition. Millions may have been produced, yet only a handful remain flawless decades later. That imbalance between supply and demand can cause prices to climb dramatically, especially when multiple collectors compete for the same top-tier example. The historical date 1788 adds psychological weight. It connects the coin to a pivotal era in American history, and that association makes it feel older and more meaningful than its 2000 release date suggests. This blend of modern minting and historical reference creates a unique identity that few quarters possess. Auction excitement has further amplified interest when a superbly preserved specimen appears. Collectors often engage in intense bidding. The competition can drive prices upward quickly, reinforcing the idea that the right example holds extraordinary potential. Each high-profile sale strengthens the legend of the coin's remarkable worth. Another aspect that elevates this quarter is the sharpness of the engraved details. The mountain profile inscriptions and Liberty-themed presentation create a visually striking coin. When struck perfectly, the design appears almost sculptural, giving the piece an artistic presence that appeals beyond traditional numismatics. Some collectors specifically seek coins with vibrant original luster, untouched by cleaning or polishing. Natural surfaces are prized because they preserve authenticity. When such a coin also carries a desirable mint mark in flawless grade, its appeal multiplies dramatically. Storage history can also influence value. Coins kept in original mint packaging or protective holders tend to retain their brilliance. These preserved examples stand apart from circulated coins and often attract the highest attention when offered for sale. The narrative of sudden fortune continues to captivate enthusiasts. The idea that a single quarter, overlooked for years, might hold exceptional value fuels ongoing interest. Even if only a few reach remarkable prices, the possibility keeps collectors searching. The coin's accessibility is part of its charm. Unlike rare gold coins, this quarter once circulated widely, meaning anyone could theoretically find one. That democratic nature adds excitement and keeps the legend alive. Over time, the market has developed tiers of value, with ordinary circulated pieces remaining modest, while pristine or unusual examples soar far higher. This contrast reinforces a belief that condition and rarity can transform even modern commemoratives into extraordinary collectibles. The enduring fascination with this 1788 dated commemorative quarter lies in its combination of history, rarity, and visual appeal. It stands as a reminder that value in coin collecting is shaped by scarcity, preservation, and demand, not just face value. Ultimately, the coin represents the dream that a small piece of metal might hold surprising worth. The story of the 1980 Liberty-style quarter begins with a familiar profile of George Washington, a design that had already circulated for decades, yet still carried an aura of quiet possibility. In 1980, millions of quarters were struck, most destined for pockets, vending machines, and everyday transactions. But within that sea of ordinary coins, a tiny number emerged with unusual characteristics, subtle mint variations, and extraordinary preservation that transformed them from spare change into objects of fascination and intense collector pursuit. The coin, often called a Liberty Quarter from 1980, is technically part of the Washington Quarter series, produced by the United States Mint. While the design remained consistent, the difference that ignites excitement lies in the mint mark and condition. Coins struck in Philadelphia carried no mint mark. Those from Denver showed a small D, and San Francisco pieces were typically proofs marked with an S. Each version tells a slightly different story, and collectors carefully inspect them for clues that separate a common coin from a potentially valuable one. Among these, the 1980 coins with pristine surfaces and sharp detail are the ones that capture imagination. A quarter that never touched circulation, with blazing luster and flawless fields, can appear almost frozen in time. When such a coin also displays exceptional strike quality, meaning every hair strand on Washington's head and every feather on the eagle's wings appears crisp, its desirability rises dramatically. This is where the ordinary transforms into something far more intriguing. Collectors often dream about the rare possibility of an ultra-high-grade 1980 quarter graded at the very top of the scale. These coins are not just clean, they are nearly perfect. Under magnification, they show no distracting marks, no dulling, and no wear. Such examples are extremely scarce because most coins were handled, stacked, or counted in bags, leaving tiny contact marks. A flawless survivor from that environment feels almost miraculous. Another factor that fuels excitement is the chance of mint errors. A 1980 quarter with an off-center strike, double lettering, or misaligned die becomes instantly more desirable. These errors occur during production and slip through unnoticed, making them accidental rarities. When collectors discover one decades later, it feels like uncovering a hidden secret that had been traveling quietly through time. Some 1980 quarters also display strong luster with a shimmering cartwheel effect. When rotated under light, the surface glows in sweeping arcs. This visual appeal can elevate collector demand, especially when paired with exceptional preservation. A coin like this doesn't just hold value. It commands attention and curiosity. Proof coins from San Francisco in 1980 bring another layer of fascination. These were specially made for collectors, with mirrored backgrounds and frosted designs. When preserved perfectly, they appear almost jewel-like. Deep cameo examples, where the contrast between frosted portrait and reflective field is dramatic, are especially sought after. The mythology surrounding valuable coins often grows from stories of unexpected discovery. Someone empties an old jar, flips through inherited change, or opens a forgotten roll, and suddenly a 1980 quarter looks different. That moment of curiosity, checking the mint mark, examining the surface, noticing unusual detail, can turn routine into suspense. Condition plays the most powerful role. A circulated 1980 quarter is typically worth only face value, but coin graded at the very top, untouched and brilliant, can command significantly higher prices among collectors. The difference between worn and pristine is enormous, even though both coins began their lives identical. The Denver minted 1980 D quarters sometimes attract attention when found in unusually high grade. Their strikes can vary, and collectors hunt for those with bold detail and smooth fields. When such a coin appears, competition can drive its desirability higher. Philadelphia minted 1980 quarters without mint marks also create excitement because they were produced in massive numbers. Finding one in exceptional condition is surprisingly difficult. The rarity lies not in production but in survival. The thrill deepens when a coin shows subtle doubling in letters or numbers. Even minor doubling can transform a common coin into a conversation piece. Collectors examine Liberty, the date, and the eagle's features for any sign of this phenomenon. Another layer of intrigue comes from toning. Over time, some coins develop natural color patterns, gold, violet, blue, or smoky gray. When attractive and evenly distributed, this toning can enhance appeal and make a coin stand out dramatically. The 1980 quarter also carries historical charm. It reflects an era before modern digital payments, when coins move constantly through hands and machines. Holding one feels like touching a small fragment of everyday economic history. Collectors often emphasize patience. Many search through hundreds or thousands of quarters, hoping to spot a standout 1980 example. The rarity isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's simply a coin that looks unusually sharp compared to the rest. Stories about life-changing coin finds circulate widely. While most 1980 quarters won't reach extreme values, the idea that a tiny detail could transform a coin's worth keeps interest alive. It's the blend of hope and possibility that fuels the search. Professional grading services further shape the coin's destiny. When a 1980 quarter receives an elite grade, it gains credibility and recognition. Suddenly, what looked ordinary becomes a certified collectible with documented quality. Collectors also appreciate coins with original mint brilliance untouched by cleaning. A coin that remains exactly as it left the mint, even decades later, holds a special authenticity. That untouched surface tells a silent story of preservation. In the end, the 1980 Liberty-style quarter represents possibility more than certainty. Most remain everyday coins, yet a rare few, perfectly struck, brilliantly preserved, or carrying mint errors, can capture attention and command surprising value. That quiet potential is what makes searching for these coins feel like chasing hidden treasure, where a small silver-colored disc might suddenly transform from loose change into something far more extraordinary. The story of the 1987 Liberty-style quarter begins with a familiar portrait of George Washington staring calmly from the front, a design that collectors often call a Liberty-inspired symbol of American heritage. At first glance, a 1987 quarter looks ordinary, something you might find in loose change. Yet certain rare examples from this year have stirred fascination because of their condition, unusual mint characteristics, and the almost myth-like excitement that surrounds hidden treasures in everyday coins. In 1987, these quarters were produced by the United States Mint primarily for circulation, meaning they were not intended to be rare collector pieces. However, scarcity does not always come from low production. Sometimes it emerges from survival. Many 1987 quarters were heavily used, worn down, scratched, and eventually removed from circulation. This means pristine examples today are far harder to find than people expect, especially coins that appear untouched by time. Collectors often focus on the mint mark when searching for something special. The 1987 quarter exists mainly with P for Philadelphia and D for Denver. There is no standard circulation strike from San Francisco that year, which adds intrigue. When a coin from 1987 appears in unusually sharp condition with a bold mint mark and mirror-like surfaces, collectors immediately pay attention because such pieces stand far above the typical worn examples. What truly elevates a 1987 Liberty-style quarter into a desirable collectible is its grade. Coins graded near perfection, with razor-sharp details in Washington's hair, crisp lettering, and glowing luster, can command dramatically higher prices. These are coins that look like they were struck yesterday, even though decades have passed. In the collecting world, perfection is rare, and rarity drives excitement. Another factor that fuels the imagination is the possibility of mint errors. A 1987 quarter with an off-center strike, doubled lettering, or a dramatic misalignment can transform from common coin to headline-worthy collectible. These errors occur during production and are not intentional, yet they create one-of-a-kind pieces. The more dramatic the error, the more collectors become captivated by it. Some 1987 quarters have also been found with exceptionally strong strikes, where every detail is deeply impressed. The eagle on the reverse appears bold, the feathers sharply defined, and the fields shine with a smooth, almost reflective glow. These coins stand out immediately, even to someone with limited experience. Their beauty alone creates the sense that they hold something special. Despite the excitement, it is important to understand that most 1987 quarters are not made of silver. They are copper-nickel-clad coins, which means their value comes from rarity and condition rather than precious metal content. This detail surprises many people who expect older-looking coins to contain silver. Instead, the true treasure lies in exceptional preservation or unusual features. Collectors sometimes describe the hunt for a rare 1987 quarter as searching for a silent sleeper. These coins will be sitting in drawers, old jars, or forgotten collections. The idea that an overlooked piece of change might suddenly reveal unexpected value fuels endless curiosity. It's this possibility that keeps enthusiasts examining every detail. High-grade certified examples of 1987 quarters have sold for significantly more than face value, especially when graded at the very top levels. The difference between an average circulated coin and a near-perfect one can be enormous. That leap in desirability creates the dramatic stories that circulate among collectors and spark dreams of discovering a hidden gem. The mint mark itself becomes a focal point for collectors. A sharply defined P or D, with no wear and strong edges, suggests the coin avoided heavy circulation. When paired with bright surfaces and no scratches, the coin starts to look extraordinary. These subtle features can transform something common into something coveted. Lighting also plays a role in identifying a valuable 1987 quarter. When tilted under light, a rare high-quality coin will flash with cartwheel luster, a spinning glow that moves across the surface. This effect is a hallmark of coins that have not been heavily handled. Collectors often use this visual clue as an early sign of potential value. Another captivating element is the historical context. By 1987, quarters have been circulating in huge numbers for decades, yet few people were saving them carefully. Unlike earlier silver coins that were hoarded, these clad quarters were treated as ordinary money. This lack of preservation contributes to the scarcity of top-grade survivors today. Occasionally, coins from mint sets issued in 1987 appear in exceptional condition. These pieces were stored carefully and protected from circulation. When removed decades later, they sometimes appear nearly flawless. Such coins can attract strong interest when evaluated and graded. The reverse design with the eagle can also reveal rarity. Coins showing fully separated feathers, sharp wing lines, and deep relief stand apart from weaker strikes. These details often fade quickly with wear, so when they remain intact, collectors recognize something unusual. Surface quality matters greatly. A 1987 quarter free from contact marks, scratches, and dullness is far harder to find than expected. Most coins from that era were stacked in bags and transported, causing tiny hits. Finding one untouched is part of what makes the search exciting. The narrative of $1 million coin often grows from the idea that extreme rarity could push values dramatically higher. While most 1987 quarters will never reach such levels, the fascination persists because the market rewards uniqueness. A coin combining perfect grade, rare error, and historical interest could command extraordinary attention. Collectors also appreciate toning, the subtle coloration that develops over time. Some 1987 quarters show soft gold, blue, or rainbow hues. When natural and attractive, these colors can enhance desirability. Each tone coin becomes visually unique, adding personality to the piece. Authentication and grading are essential for any coin believed to be valuable. Professional evaluation confirms whether a coin truly stands above the rest. Without certification, it is difficult to establish high value. This step separates hopeful finds from genuinely rare examples. The enduring appeal of the 1987 Liberty-style quarter lies in possibility. Most are ordinary, yet a few stand apart with stunning condition, unusual mint traits, or striking beauty. That contrast fuels the excitement, encouraging collectors to look closely at every coin. Somewhere among countless ordinary pieces, a remarkable survivor may still be waiting to surprise the person who notices its hidden brilliance.